This video actually exemplifies what journalism should be. Props to the dude who made this video. They need a pay raise. Yes, I f***ing do. I'm probably going to be put on a security list now, but it was worth it. Hi, I'm Lee Adams. I'm a host and producer here at Vice, and the internet thinks I'm a racist. I'm black, if you couldn't tell. We're talking about Minority Reports, which is a series that I host here, and it's about finding minorities in places where you wouldn't expect to find them. This episode in particular is about young black conservatives.
Black lives have never, ever, ever mattered to the Democrat Party. Black votes always have.
The Democrat Party have established a house of token niggers.
How do y'all feel about black conservatives?
Like, y'all house Negroes. Like, y'all just trying to please this white man.
The Democrats are very nervous. They do nothing for you, and that was supposed to be automatic. Not anymore.
Here we go.
So let's check out these motherfucking... All right, anyways. The problem is this dude's haircut. You know what? I don't even mind this. You know what I'm saying? Like... there was a man that I look up to. His name is Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Adam Clayton Powell once said that black is beautiful. We have everything from chalk to charcoal within our own race. Meaning, if you don't know anything about black people, our hair textures are actually different, not unlike white people. Some of us have straighter hair. Some of us have curlier hair. We come in different heights. I don't know if you knew this. Come in different weights. So yeah, we all look different. We are different. Now, you know, the more you know. Lee Adams looking at the camera like an episode of The Office gets me every time. He's talking about when we were standing in the East Room of the White House, and I'm about 15 to 20 feet away from Donald Trump. Some of the stuff he was saying was kind of insane.
When I ran for president, I asked black Americans to give me a chance with your vote by saying, what the hell do you have to lose? Remember?
I couldn't really hide it on my face, but I also didn't want to. So I made sure I kept looking into the camera because I kind of needed someone else to go through what I was going through while I was going through it. You see the look on his face. He just doesn't get it. He's stuck on the Democratic plantation. Wow. Like, of all the things, I think that's the most offensive thing. To even like toss the word plantation into the same sentence when referencing a black person in America is one of the most offensive things you can really do or say. I think it just goes to show like someone has a severe lack of knowledge about this country's history. You know, my ancestors, that, you know what I mean? Like, this is a thing that literally is directly tied to my lineage, and you know what I mean, in a very real way. So that's incredibly insensitive. I don't usually comment. White old dude, thank you for letting us know. I don't see color. That's actually a problem. I see people. Good people are colorless to me. I appreciate the sentiment here, right? I appreciate it, what you're trying to do, saying like race doesn't impact the way that you deal with folks. However, you cannot discount race in America because of how race has colored our past and the way that on a macro level we view each other. Being colorblind or not seeing color actually discounts everything that I have gone through as a black man in America. We just can't ignore people's history. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm the guy that said we don't need Black History Month anymore, so you can trust my opinion here. This is Martin Luther King Jr. dream. This is bad syntax. Is that what rich people call hunting? LOL. He's talking about the pheasant hunt that we went to, and this was in Iowa. First, it's like a really good time. Highly recommend it. I'm not saying killing pheasants is a good thing, but I had a really good time going out with these dudes and like drinking beer and like talking shit and seeing these dogs have the time of their life. As far as like rich old white guy activities, this is definitely up there. It's a good one. Like this and sailing, I'm trying to fully be a part of.
And what was it like to meet Steve King?
It was kind of awesome. He was open to answering my questions, and I will have to respect him for that. He didn't run from us. He didn't hide from the cameras. He didn't not want us to be there. He welcomed us there. He even was like walking around with no shirt on at one point, and I'll never get that image out of my mind. But, he was a nice dude. This video confuses me. The Vice speaker keeps switching between attacking or defending the conservative blacks. Is that what journalism is supposed to look like compared to, say, CNN? My job isn't to tell the audience how to feel about whatever it is that I'm covering. My job is to ask the questions that cause whoever we are covering to, further explain themselves and their perspectives, and hopefully leave room for the audience to come to their own conclusions.
Why is it that you can stomach the injustices?
So please tell me what injustices you're talking about, the Republican Party.
Voter suppression laws, for example.
So having an ID, which I have a driver's license.
People attribute these things to being, an infringement upon people's rights.
If anyone's disenfranchising minority groups, it's the Democratic Party, especially right now.
Politics don't have to be combative. Race doesn't have to be combative as long as both sides are willing to listen to each other, which they rarely ever are. The only racist I saw through all of this was the Vice reporter. That's just ridiculous. How am I racist? In what way am I in a position to be racist? Also, black people aren't a monolith. So me questioning the motives or thoughts of another black person isn't racist. And I would hope that you wouldn't watch this documentary and think that I'm trying to smear or smother the perspective of black conservatives. If anything, we're trying to amplify it so that people can be made aware of it, or maybe agree with some of these folks. What I'm trying to do is allow young black conservatives to articulate themselves in a space free of harsh judgment or combative ridicule. At the core of the definition, you're misunderstanding the concept of racism or who can be even a racist. So, I disagree. Those are the tales from the comments. Thanks for watching. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Maybe I won't. I might get fired after this.